Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all had a great day. I know most of you spent millions of silver just to try a new build because I have too. And you know what? It sucks. Raid Shadow Legends is basically punishing us for trying to experiment, and it's super frustrating. So today we're going to talk about the cost of gear removal, why I think it's a problem, and also it hurts all players, and why the free gear removal events are just not cutting it anymore. So, in Raid, if you want to remove a 6-star artifact, right, it will cost you 100,000 silver. Now, if you want to swap one artifact from one champion to another and both champions are geared in that slot, it will cost you 200,000. Now, that doesn't sound much, right? But if you realize that you need to swap out like 6 or even up to 9 pieces, you will run through millions in minutes. And that's per champion, so multiply that by 3, 4, 5 champions, and the amount of silver you would need to swap out, the gear and regear your champions is insane. So this system is actively discouraging the players to experiment, but also if you want to try a new comp or you want to optimize, your champions for a new boss or new content, you have to pay for it and you're getting punished for it. And it's not like we have an infinite amount of silver. For free-to-play players, that's absolutely brutal. But hey, Plarium gives us, the free gear removal event and problem solved, right? But I don't think it's really solved. I think only partly. So for one, it's only once a month for 5 days. And don't get me wrong, I totally like the free gear removal event, right? I think it's a good step in the right direction. And with Cursed City, it totally makes sense. But you also have to plan your whole regearing strategies around that tiny window you have once a month. So here's the problem that I'm facing, because I have to do Chimera every week, right? And Hydra too, and I want to, get the best performance I can. But in order to do so, I need to use the best gear I have on my champions. I want to farm Arena every day, so those champions have to be geared too with the best gear I have. Then I want to farm, Chimera once a week. Those champions have to use some of the gear I use on the Arena champions. Same for the Hydra champions. So it's kind of like a big problem where I have to swap gear around all the time just to get, the best results I possibly could. And yes, we do get free gear removal banners from Cursed City, right? But they only last 1 hour. And let's say I'm regearing my Chimera champions and then I'm gonna do a Chimera run. The Chimera run itself, it's gonna take minimum 40 minutes, and if something goes wrong and I have to restart, the run, the free gear removal will run out and I have to use another one or wait until I get another one, or I'll pay the silver. For me personally, it just doesn't add up anymore. And not to mention, the cost for relics to remove them. It's unbelievable how much a mythical relic costs, to remove and then put on some other champion. Let's take a look at here. So if I would want to remove this mythical relic here from this champion, it would cost me 640 starstone. And that is a lot, right? I have 3,000. Yes, I'm using a lot. I'm upgrading all my relics. But, if I would want to equip this relic right now on another champion, I would basically pay 1/6 of my total amount of starstone right now. And that is just crazy to me. I do think 3,000 is a good amount of starstone. And I'm also farming Chimera every week, trying to get as much as possible. But yeah, the same thing counts for mythical gemstones. To remove a mythical gemstone would cost me 320 starstone. So yeah, you're basically just getting punished all over the place for trying to experiment or trying to, you know, build new things or new strategies. And at some point you will run out of starstones or silver, and it's just a little bit frustrating. So now the question is, what is the fix? We could theoretically, you know, just some ideas that I have, we could reduce the cost of removal by like 50%, right? So that way we can still, you know, we still have to pay for it, but it's not a crazy amount we have to pay. It's still manageable. Another idea would be to have, you know, weekly free gear removal events for like Hydra resets or Chimera resets, you know, frequently and predictable, and that way people could experiment on new content like Chimera, right? Another thing could be something like a artifact planner, right? Similar to the fitting room, where you can, let's say, you know, equip the champions with artifacts and then try to run, you know, whatever you're trying to do, for example, a clan boss comp or dungeon team or whatever, and see if it works. And if it works, you have to pay the price to equip those artifacts, but you don't have to pay the price for trying it out to see if it even works, because that's also a huge problem. Sometimes, you know, a lot of players are regearing their champions and are hoping that this comp is gonna work in a dungeon or a clan boss or whatever content, Doom Tower, Cursed City, and then it doesn't work, and then they kind of like wasted all the silver just to try something out, and in the end it wasn't even worth it. So yeah, players want to try things, they want to look for new strategies, and why not let them? Raid is a strategy game, so why tax people on trying to strategize, trying to experiment new things? That's just holding everybody back. So my personal experience that I had this week, I was trying a new Chimera comp. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I used the free gear removal, but by the time I realized that it doesn't work the way I thought it would, you know, the free gear removal ran out. Now I have like really good pieces from my account on champions that I'm not gonna use, and I kind of wanna, you know, get the gear back, but it would cost me so much silver that it's not really worth it for me. So now I'm sitting there with like champions with really good gear that I could use on other champions that I'm using frequently, and now I'm kind of like stuck. And it's also a constant gear swapping for me, because I'm using Siphi in Chimera and Arena, for example, and Hydra as well. So if I want to use her in PvE content, I want to use that 9-piece protection set, that 9-piece protection bonus. If I want to use her in Arena, I would love to use her in a 9-piece protection set as well, but mine is just not fast enough to be viable. So I have to swap around some gear and build her with more speed. You know, I have for example, I have this triple row protection banner, but also I do have a quad banner, which is a non-set piece. And normally for Arena, I would use that and then, you know, swap out 1 or 2 protection artifacts with speed set pieces and just get that speed up. Because right now with the 9-piece protection, I'm sitting at 378, which is not even close to be, you know, enough speed for Arena. So for Siphi, I'm constantly swapping the gear. If I want to do Hydra, Chimera, I'm using this set. If I want to use her in Arena, I have to give her more speed. Then if I want to use my Necrid in Arena, I have to get that protection gear that I have on Siphi, because these are the only protection accessories. I want to use them with a 9-piece protection set in Arena, but I can't because I'm using my Siphi with a 9-piece protection set to be able to perform in Chimera and Hydra. So that's kind of where the whole issue started. And that's just one example, right? There are multiple examples like this, multiple champions that I have to regear frequently. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this? Are you facing similar issues with removing gear and silver And yeah, if you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel. Also hit the thumbs up. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.